Welcome back. We are here with the Today's Woman show, speaking with Simone Gabrielle, also known as DJ Samosa. I am always inspired when I see women in the music industry, especially in spaces that we don't get to see so often. I recall my first time seeing you DJ, and I was truly, truly in awe. But one of the questions I've always wondered is, how did you get your name?
My name is Simone. So I was actually in front of Cafe Mimosa on Bardstown Road, and my friend came up with the name. He was like, why don't you just name yourself DJ Samosa? And I just kind of stuck with it.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. How many samosas in were you when you decided?
How many samosas? Well, actually, I was thinking about changing my name a few times, but I used to work at Sprint, and there was some kids in there, and they was talking amongst themselves. They was like, no, you ask her. No, you ask her. And they came up to me, and they said, aren't you DJ Samosa? And I was like, yes. And then that's when I realized that I should not change my name.
Do not change your name. I think it's a fabulous name. It's almost like a cookie too. I think you need to add that to your line. So DJing, how did you get involved?
Well, I used to host this event called the 1996 Party, and I really wanted to DJ, and I just asked them, I was like, hey, I want to DJ. They was like, just get your equipment and hop up there. So I did.
Wow. And how did you learn?
Well, I actually taught myself. I started off on an iPad, believe it or not. I had an app called DJ Pro, and I taught myself how to DJ. I also learned with a few other DJs, but mainly taught myself and looked at YouTube videos.
Wow. How did men accept you when they noticed that you were like really taking off and getting gigs?
They accepted me. I mean, it was hard because sometimes, like, whenever they try to book you, they were like, well, do you want to go on a date? And I'm like, no. And then you won't hear from them anymore. And I'm like, what? So it was kind of hard with that. But yeah, they accepted me as one of their own.
Wow. Okay. So they wanted to book you, but they also wanted to book you.
Yes.
Okay. Understood. So things were going well. You were on an upward swing with business, and then the pandemic happened, like it did for so many of us. What was your first reaction, and how did you weather the storm?
Well, actually, I was kind of I lost all of my gigs. I had a lot of gigs lined up for the 2020 year, and I just started to paint, because all my gigs were canceled. I started to paint, and it took off from there. I started posting my art on social media, and I got noticed by an art gallery. So now I'm also an artist.
Oh, wow. Okay, talk about being resourceful. Ladies, this is what I'm talking about. Learn how to pivot when you got to pivot. So was art like your outlet? Is that also how you kind of coped with just kind of watching everything kind of fall?
Yes.
With the DJing business? That is absolutely amazing. How do you get booked? How have people come to know DJ Samosa? Where do they find you?
Well, I have a website called djsamosa.com, but all my bookings came through word of mouth.
Amazing, amazing. And you will soon be DJing during the Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs. Are you excited?
Yes, I've actually never been to the Derby. It's my first time, and I actually get to DJ there, so it's so exciting.
Oh my goodness, that is phenomenal. I love when our local corporations reach out and support local talent. You know, I know you mentioned you were at this event and you had your iPad and you taught yourself. But there are a lot of women that have ideas and they never actually blossom, or they never actually come into their own. How did you know that DJing was your calling, and what gave you the confidence to actually launch?
Well, I always had an ear for music, so I just really wanted to play music, so I just did it.
Wow. So was this from an early age? Like, how old were you when you knew that music was your thing?
Well, they used to call me human jukebox in schools because I knew every song, like every word to every song. So yes.
And would you contribute that to your parents, the household environment that you were in?
Yes, my dad actually was a DJ. He used to DJ house parties.
Oh, phenomenal. Well, for those of you out there with a musical ear, you too can be a DJ one day. Read more about DJ Samosa at todayswomannow.com. We look forward to seeing you all next month